In this video, we're going to show you how to replace the power steering reservoir hose on your Ford Expedition. Let's get started. We're going to remove the top cover. Using a Phillips head bit, we're going to unscrew the clips. The threads are old, so it won't necessarily unscrew. We're going to use a trim tool and pick up on the centerpiece, and then we can pull the clip out. We're going to go through and do all of them along the top. Remove the cover. We're going to remove the mass airflow sensor connector. There's a little red tab on the bottom. On either side, pull back, and that'll put it in the unlocked position. And then on the bottom, there will be a push button. Push that and pull the sensor back. This is that lock tab. You'll pull this back, and then this is the push button right here. Using an 8mm socket, we're going to loosen the band clamp. There's going to be 3 tabs on this side of the box. We're going to push the 2 tabs on the airbox towards the engine. And there's one more tab on the other side of here. Push this boot back. We're going to remove the top of the intake. We're going to take the connector off of this switch. There's a little push button on top. Push that and pull the connector off. Using a 10mm socket, we're going to remove the nut for the bracket. Remove the bracket, remove the air filter out of the airbox. We're going to remove the overflow hose off of the radiator. If you have a clamp, you can clamp this hose, and this will make it so no coolant can come out of this. Using a 13mm socket, we're going to remove the 2 bolts off the side of the bottom of the air housing. We're going to pick this assembly straight up out of the grommet, and then we can remove the assembly. Our reservoir hose is going to run from the reservoir down to the pump. There will be 2 clamps. We're going to start by taking the top clamp and pinching it. We're going to move that clamp down. Before removing this hose, if your reservoir has any fluid in it, either remove the fluid, you can open up the cap and suck it out of the top, or you can remove the hose and then have a bucket under you to catch the fluid. Our reservoir is empty, so we're going to be able to just take the hose off and not worry about any fluid coming out. With the clamp off, we're going to remove our hose. Using a long pair of needle nose pliers, we're going to pinch the clamp and pull it up. Then we're going to remove the hose off of the power steering pump. Careful, there might be some fluid that comes out. Install the hose onto the pump. Make sure it is fully seated. We're going to install the hose onto the reservoir. Squeeze the clamp and put it into position. We're going to do the same thing on the bottom. We're going to install the lower piece of the airbox. This tube is going to fit inside of the hole in the side of the fender. And then there's 2 posts in the bottom that are going to fit into grommets. Push the airbox down into place. You can pull our cooling hose up and install it onto the radiator. I'm going to drop the filter into place. This only fits one way. Install the 2 bolts on the side. snug them down. We're going to grab our hood switch. We're going to get the bolt started. Install the connector for the hood switch. Grab the top of your intake. On this far side, there's going to be these tabs. Those are going to slide in to the bottom piece of the airbox. I'm going to push this boot back, swing it down, and pull the boot over that. We're going to clamp our 3 clamps. You have your MAF sensor. We're going to plug that in. Once you hear a click, push the red tab in and lock it into place. Snug down the clamp. Open the cap for the power steering reservoir. Go ahead and fill it if you lost any fluid. Once you've done this, go ahead and get in the car and turn the wheel back and forth. Once you've turned the steering wheel lock to lock about 5 to 10 times, go ahead and start the car up, and we're going to listen to the pump. If you hear any squealing or any air, you still need to bleed the system more. Keep turning, lock to lock. Once you're done bleeding the system and there's no whining coming from the pump, go ahead and put the cap on and close the reservoir. I'm going to prep these clips for install using a small pick. We're going to push the middle out of here. Then we can go through and install our clips. Once I have the bases installed, I'm going to go around and push the middle in. If your clips are still in good working order, you probably won't need to do this. And once you have all your clips in, you're good to go.
When only the best will do, demand TRQ. The only company that lets you view before you do. TRQ is committed to offering the highest quality aftermarket auto parts that are engineered for peace of mind. Thanks for using and viewing with TRQ.